our birth chart, the Black Moon Lilith represents the qualities and traits within us that we feel the most ashamed of, even though they're some of our greatest talents and gifts that we possess. But the talents and qualities that we are most ashamed of based off of our Lilith placement is more about the sign that it's in. But you also have a house that your Lilith is in, and this tells you where this shame is going to show up in your life. So in this video, I'm going to cover everything you need to know about having your Black Moon Lilith in your 7th house in your birth chart. Hello and welcome back to the Be the Hero channel. My name is Isabelle and I help you understand who you are using personality typing and astrology, because I was the person who often felt lost and confused on their direction in life, and then I discovered the Myers-Briggs, the Enneagram, astrology, and so much more. And for the first time in my life, I had a sense of identity and I knew what my direction could be. So now I'm here to help you understand these things as well, so you can understand these systems and yourself. Now, before I get too far into this video, hit the link in the description below to get your very own My Horoscope Made Me Do It hoodie, available now in the link in the description below. These are seriously some of the coziest hoodies I've ever worn, and I'm not just saying that because I made them. They are amazing. So hit the link in the description below to get them. In this video, I'm going to cover what it means to have your Black Moon Lilith in your 7th house. But before I dive into this specific aspect, let's talk about Lilith, because when I first got into learning about Lilith, I was extremely confused because there's the name Black Moon Lilith, and then there was Lilith. Are they the same thing? Are they different? I don't know. The short answer to whatever questions that may come up for you around the Black Moon Lilith is keep watching this video, because you are likely watching about the right aspect that you're looking to learn about. There are two aspects in our chart, one which is extremely popular and one which is not so well known. One is Black Moon Lilith. And the Black Moon Lilith is a very popular aspect in our charts nowadays that is represented by a black crescent moon and what looks like a cross underneath it. Black Moon Lilith has now become referred to more often as simply just Lilith because it's a shorter name, and as it's very popular, people tend to know what we're talking about. There's also an aspect in our chart simply just called Lilith, but it's not nearly as popular. So if you see that symbol on your chart and you see that it's in your 7th house, keep watching this video because this is the right video you're looking for. In our birth chart, the Black Moon Lilith is a point, and wherever sign and house it's fixed into shows us what we feel the most ashamed of. So whatever zodiac sign it's in, whether it's Leo or Gemini or Virgo, that shows us the traits we feel ashamed of. But it's not just what we feel shame around. Some background on Lilith to understand better is, from my understanding, Lilith was the first wife of Adam, and she was a very powerful and very independent woman. But this was not necessarily very easy for Adam to work with, and so what did they do? They threw her out of the world and replaced her with a much more passive Eve. So Lilith represents these talents and strengths within us that can help serve us on our journey, but we've been taught by society that it's not okay to be this way, and if we are acting with these traits that we might be banished from the world, so to say. So all of us truly need to heal our Lilith to embrace our powers. But the traits we feel ashamed of, that's more represented by the sign that your Black Moon Lilith is in, like Gemini, Leo, Aries, etc. You also have a house that your Lilith is in, and this tells you where this shame will show up for you the most. Oftentimes when we're in astrology, we can see that maybe we have a Lilith in Aries or any aspect, and we think, oh, I embrace that easily. Come on, I do this all the time. But we all have a house that each of those signs is associated with based off of our time of birth. So for example, you could have a Lilith in Aries, and based off of that, you would theoretically have issues with assertion and confidence and being independent. And you might feel like, that's not really true. I actually do that often. But you also have a house that your Lilith in Aries is in. So maybe your Lilith in Aries is in your 4th house, which means you specifically have trouble allowing yourself to be independent and assertive in your family life. So knowing the house that your Black Moon Lilith is in is extremely important, and just as important to know as the sign it's in. If you have not learned about the sign that your Lilith is in 7th house is in yet, watch my video series on our YouTube channel covering Lilith through the signs. So the 7th house in astrology is all about our one-on-one partnerships. Think of it as a legal one-on-one contract. So whenever we talk about the 7th house, we can think of our one-on-one friendships, and yes, marriage and romantic one-on-one partnerships. And it can also, though, be business partnerships. Any one-on-one collaborative connection is what is associated with the 7th house. The most predominant one is our one-on-one romantic partnerships. And again, there's often a lot of confusion I've found when explaining astrology, that people get confused between the 7th house and the 5th house. And the quick way to figure out the difference between these is the 5th house has to do all with play. It's the flirting stage with someone. It's where we have fun. The 7th house is when we start committing to a person. So a relationship is the most predominant theme in the 7th house. So what does it mean to have your Black Moon Lilith in your 7th house? People with a Black Moon Lilith in 7th house feel a lot of shame and insecurity around relationships. They were likely someone when they grew up who loved to spend one-on-one time with people. Very similar to having a Lilith in Libra. They wanted a partnership. They wanted to connect one-on-one with their friends. They weren't a huge fan of big social groups and social settings. They'd much rather spend time with just one person or one of their parents. And so they had this one-on-one connection that they desired, that they were trying to fulfill. But somewhere along the way, their parents taught them that it is not okay to, or not even their parents. Our Lilith can be affected by our parents, peers, society, in general. Any authority in our lives told us, you're not allowed to want that. And so now the Black Moon Lilith in 7th house is someone who feels insecure around attaining a relationship and maintaining a relationship. They're likely someone who wants to have a partner, someone who wants to connect to someone, be in a relationship, and they can feel that every time they get into a relationship, they are not supposed to do that. They're not supposed to collaborate. They're not supposed to connect. They're not supposed to meet people halfway, and they're not supposed to have shared values in a relationship. Understanding what it means to have your Lilith in 7th house is very heavily reliant on the sign it's in as well, because that will show you what kind of values you have in relationships. So I have a Lilith in 7th house, and I'll use my own as an example. I have a Lilith in Gemini in my 7th house. So what that means is I generally already have shame and guilt around my talkative nature, my chattiness, my desire to intellectually spar and debate with people and have a mental connection and just be social. But when this is applied to my 7th house, this means that in a relationship, I seek someone who is mentally stimulating for me, who wants to be social with me, who wants to question and have ideas and observe the world and just maybe word barf to some degree. I want someone who appreciates my thought and they have thoughts to share. But because this is my Lilith, I feel shame around wanting that in a relationship. So I might possibly allow myself to embrace other aspects of a relationship, but I will never allow myself to, or I'll struggle to allow myself to embrace the desire for mental connection in a relationship. Again, this will be different based off of the sign your 7th house Lilith is in, so watch my videos later on Lilith through the signs. But generally, anyone who has a Lilith in 7th house has shame around relationships. They're someone who wants one so bad. They want to be in a relationship. And because they want one, they feel even more so that something's wrong with them for wanting a relationship. This can be even more predominant if you have other powerful placements in your 7th house. If your sun, if your moon, if your Venus, Mars, or I'm missing one, Mercury is in 7th house, you're going to have a higher desire on your one-on-one partnerships. And this is going to make it so that you have a stronger desire to be in relationship, but you can find that you feel shame around wanting that. You feel insecure around wanting a relationship. So these people can end up doing manifesting situations where they get into relationships easily, but then easily or quickly back out of them, or they end fast because they are afraid of abandonment from their tribe, from the partner they're with, from society, because they have a deep ingrained energetic imprint and belief from childhood that they are not allowed to want partnership. This can also show up in the non-romantic sense for the Lilith in 7th house. This could show up as feeling guilty anytime you spend one-on-one time with someone. People with a 7th house Lilith want one-on-one connection, whether that is romantic or platonic. And they will seek this out and at the same time feel uncomfortable when they do so because something in them triggers them to think, this is not okay for me. I will be betrayed, abandoned, and thrown out and rejected from the world if I show this desire within me. So if you're watching this video and you're wondering, okay, got it, that sounds like me, you're probably wondering, what do I do? The first thing that I recommend every single Lilith placement does, both Lilith sign placement and Lilith house placement, is reflect on your childhood, go back to that childhood and find that memory where you felt like a peer or a teacher or a parent or any authority figure in your life made you believe that it is not okay to want partnership. When was that time for you? Was it a friend that you felt like you were not allowed to want to connect with? Was it a romantic partner? Was it your parent themselves? Who did you want to spend one-on-one time with? And when was that moment in childhood where you felt like you were scolded or rejected or betrayed for wanting that desire? Go back to that childhood version of yourself as the person you are now and comfort them and tell them it is okay to want this. Wanting connection is not bad. Wanting a partner is not bad. You are allowed to connect with people, and I love you so much for this part of yourself. Secondly, Lilith in 7th house highly needs to prioritize making one-on-one connections with people. People who have a Lilith in Gemini or Lilith in 7th house might tend to just spend time in groups or spend time with family, just avoiding one-on-one connections because they are taught that's something they're not supposed to have. But this is something that can bring out some of their greatest talents, greatest powers, and inspire other people. The way you connect with people, Lilith in 7th house, inspires other people to nurture their one-on-one connections. So embrace this gift by seeking out one-on-one time with people. This could be romantic partnerships. You could get out in the dating world, spend more time with your partner, or it could be platonic. Go out for a coffee date with a friend, learn about new people, ask someone else out on a date just so that you can get to know them without attachment to what it becomes of it. The 7th house is all about one-on-one time. So anything you do to spend one-on-one time with someone is going to feel uncomfortable, but it's going to be extremely healing, and this can be one of your greatest gifts. Third and final is look at the sign, again, that your 7th house is in, because this will show you what you value in a one-on-one connection. If you have a Lilith in 7th house in Aries, you want a partner or a friend, you want to connect with one person via intense experiences and more independent experiences where you guys are in a way just playing next to each other, having fun together. If you are a Lilith in 7th house in Libra, you want to mentally connect with someone on a collaborative, peaceful, in a collaborative, harmonious way. If you have a Lilith in Cancer in your 7th house, you need a nurturing partnership. I could go on, so just leave a comment below and tell me what combination, what sign is your Lilith in 7th house in, and I will give you a little information on what that means. But overall, if you have a Lilith in 7th house, heal that childhood experience, and by going back to that memory and telling yourself it's okay to want connection, pinpoint the moment where you felt shamed or insecurity, or many times where you felt you weren't allowed to want those things. Heal that part of yourself and actively work towards maintaining and cultivating your one-on-one connections. One note about the Lilith in 7th house is oftentimes these people, because they have an unhealthy relationship with partnership, they can easily become codependent because they go about seeking partnership in an unhealthy, escapist way. So it's very important for people with a Lilith in 7th house to check in with yourself and look again to that sign that Lilith in 7th house is in, and ground into your values. Who are you, and what do you expect from a partnership, whether that's a friendship or a relationship? Stay aligned with those values and assert the fact that you are who you are and meet someone as a whole person. Whenever I talk about the 7th house or Libra, I think of the metaphor that I heard that we are each in life a letter C, and our goal in life is to make ourselves whole. But oftentimes, because we're each letter C's, we seek someone else to finish that and complete it for us. But this is just one half of the whole. When instead, if we could complete ourselves, we can create an infinity. And that is much more, shockingly, infinite. So Lilith in 7th house, as much as you need one-on-one connection, make sure you are coming from a place of self-worth, self-understanding, and grounding into who you are, because who you are is valuable. And when you come from that state of wholeness, you can find partnerships and heal your shame around your Lilith in a way that helps you manifest abundance, feel more healed, fulfills your desires, and inspires other people to do the same and connect with other people as well. If this video helped you understand what it means to have your Black Moon Lilith in your 7th house, let me know in those comments below. And again, tell me what sign your Lilith in 7th house is in, and I'll give you a little information on what that means and a piece of advice. If you want to dive deeper, I offer 30-minute readings where you can ask any questions you want in that 30-minute time slot. I am also considering offering different kinds of readings, so if you don't see an option on there that you like, let me know in those comments below and I'll be sure to offer it soon. While you're down there, grab the free birth chart workbook if you have not yet grabbed it already. In the free birth chart workbook, I use journal prompts to help you understand each of your basic placements in your chart so that you can live in alignment with the basics. Because turns out, I didn't realize this until years into astrology, you do not need to know every single asteroid, every single planet. You just need to learn to apply the basics, and that's how you embody your soul's unique energetic imprint to live in alignment with your astrology and use astrology to your benefit. So hit the link in the description below to get the free birth chart workbook. If you're a person who likes workbooks and courses, if you are interested in astrology, self-development, and mindfulness and more, you need to get the Making Mindfulness Fun bundle now while I'm still offering it, because I have no idea how long I'm going to offer this for. But in the Making Mindfulness Fun bundle, in the link in the description below, you get access to all 30 of our workbooks and courses we have ever created for only $30. That's $1 per course per workbook. And not only do we have our masterclass chakra healing course that is 7 days long, but you also get access to exclusive astrology workbooks that are only available in this bundle. And you get exclusive access to any new workbooks I drop, which includes, as of filming this video, the Moon Sign Self-Care Workbook, which I'm going to be releasing very, very soon. And it walks you through the process of taking care of and nurturing and breaking free of any sort of restrictions you have in your moon sign, so you can live in alignment with the most important aspect of your chart. That's the Making Mindfulness Fun bundle. Grab it now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sincerely hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay tuned for more videos breaking down astrology. Share this video with your friends if you know someone else who is interested in astrology or could simply use some healing. Once again, my name's Isabelle, and from my heart to yours, I bow to you. Namaste.